Now, the final strategy that I want to take you through today is one that is pretty fundamental, but frequently overlooked. And this is essentially how often people see your ads. For customers and people I talk to that are new to the concept of frequency, I usually start by asking them one question, which is, have you ever felt like you've seen the same ad one too many times? Usually the answer is yes. That feeling is what we refer to as ad fatigue. It's actually quite a large problem in our industry, as anyone who has spent any time on, I think, any social media app will tell you. Sometimes you just want to close that whole thing down so you stop seeing the same ad, but maybe that's me. But frequency management in simple terms is about setting a cap on the number of times a user sees a specific ad or set of ads within a determined time frame. Essentially the opposite of overserving, and it's there to reduce that ad fatigue. Frequency management itself kind of has three main outcomes: reducing that ad fatigue, reducing wasted spend. So every time essentially you show your ad to somebody who has seen it too many times already and isn't going to convert, that's wasted money. So frequency capping really helps to make sure that you spend your budget more efficiently by reaching new, unique users instead of serving to the same small group of people. And finally, it ensures brand safety. So it kind of prevents any brands from appearing a little bit desperate, maybe annoying. It is very much a core concept to advertising, but with the right technology, you can take frequency management to a whole new level. So one of the biggest challenges when it comes to frequency management is media consolidation. In a siloed approach, you might have separate campaigns running on different platforms. You might have YouTube, you might have a third-party ad network, you might be running display through Google Ads, you might have direct deals with publishers, and so on. And essentially, this creates complications for advertisers where a single user might be exposed to your ad on YouTube. They might see it on a news website through a different ad network. They might see it on a mobile app as they're streaming some TV. And even though you might have individual frequency caps on each of those platforms, that single user could see your ad 3 times that cap in a single day or within a period, which is a huge waste of money. And it's a fast track to ad fatigue that we spoke about before. So media consolidation through a enterprise platform like DV360 enables our advertisers to set a single unified frequency cap for your entire campaign, even across different inventory types, different buying methods, whether that is guaranteed, non-guaranteed, open auction. By consolidating your media, you get a much better control over that frequency and much better reach as well for the same investment. So powerful advantage for you is that you're not just siloing your campaigns that are going to continually target the same people over and over again. You can actually take some of that money and reinvest it in acquiring new users and new customers. The tangible benefit of this, essentially, there was a study by Nielsen that evaluated consolidated buying through DV360 versus fragmented buying with separate tools. As you can see, stats on the screen, this study found that a consolidated approach actually got us 11% greater reach by buying through one platform instead of distributed. So if you are currently buying through a distributed network, through a portfolio of a bunch of different vendors and tools, you could potentially be wasting media spend and also potentially be annoying people with the repeated messaging. So consolidating your buying in a platform like DV360 helps you to control that frequency and drive much better reach for the same investment, ultimately leading essentially to better media outcomes. This is an illustration of the example that I outlined before. On the left, we have a traditional or a siloed approach where you can see we're managing campaigns on multiple platforms. Each of these might have a frequency cap of 3, but because none of these things talk to each other, our user has now seen the same ad 9 times across 3 different platforms. Again, wasted spend, ad fatigue. We're paying to show the same ad to the same person over and over again, where we could be investing that budget in reaching a new potential customer So on the right-hand side, we have what is a unified approach through DV360. In this implementation, you can see a single campaign level frequency cap of that 3 exposures, which means no matter which of those publishers, whether it's YouTube, Nine, The Australian, that the user has come through, we still only serve them ads 3 times and then never again, in theory. There are limitations. I won't go into that, too technical. But the result essentially is that your budget is then spent far more efficiently. You get to reach more unique users or unique people instead of overserving to that few. We've helped a number of our clients optimize their media spend through frequency management specifically, including one of our global B2B customers. They were able to improve their reach by 18% through DV360's frequency management tool. So definitely very powerful when it's done right. Outside of that, generally YouTube users see a 12% increase in unique reach, which is a 5% reach per dollar increase for advertisers. I'm very aware I've only got a couple of minutes left, so I apologize. I've only got a couple of slides left to go. I'll try and get through it. But essentially, when you take this approach in DV360, not only do you get that efficiency and that gain, but you also get the data to prove that back to your business, which is absolutely fantastic. So this report shows 2 super important metrics. First is the added impression reach from your frequency cap. So this shows you how many additional unique users were reached by your campaign specifically because you're using frequency capping. In this case, 30,000 extra people just by using frequency caps. That's pretty dang good. The other one is the total reach, which is a metric that most advertisers are pretty familiar with. This is the total number of deduplicated users reached by your campaign. So this report essentially allows you to definitively show that you are not overserving and reaching the same people, but you are actively reaching a new audience and that you are being a lot more effective with your media investment. The how on this is measured, particularly as we move into that more privacy first world. In DV360, it's a combination between deterministic measurement and modeled data. Deterministic measurement, for anyone who's not sure what that means, is essentially measurement where we have user signals available. So this is things like people who are logged in on devices and cross devices, versus modeled measurement, which is for traffic where we might have limited access to user signals. So when someone is signed out and they don't have a third-party cookie, as an example. So the benefit as well of using DV360 for your frequency management is that they as a product are committed to user privacy while still providing advertisers with the tools that we need to manage privacy manage frequency in a privacy safe way. This is a quick example of how it works within the platform. We have 3 different levels of frequency management. So broadest at the top within your campaign level frequency, you can set a cap across all of your insertion orders and line items, followed by your insertion order level where you can kind of get a little bit more niche on how you want those impressions to be broken down, particularly if you have similar or cross pollinated audiences running. And then obviously your line item level, we can get really specific around the tactics and the messages that you want people to see, how often and when. Okay, my apologies. Hope that all made sense.